Morning. Last week we went out to do the Lalen Mendi. Wanted to get a bit of video of it. We're going to do the Lalen Mendi. We haven't done it for ages, have we?
It's got a nice bit of ground as well, isn't it? So it's shingly and it reflects the light back.
Yeah.
So it's quite a nice wreck to do.
So our first port of call is get our mate Kendall. So I thought I'll just get a bit of information for when we do the video. And I've had this book a long time and he's pretty good, old Kendall. He gets the positions right, but he gets a lot of the wrecks are mixed up. So over the years I've written down in the margins what things are, the unknowns, and things like George Sutton, Kerriado.
Most of them
mixed,
really.
Yeah, a lot of them. A lot of them are mixed up. Anyway, I've got a bit of information for the Lalen Mendi, and in the margin I've written SS Duke of York. And for the life of me, I don't know why I wrote SS Duke of York, and you were none the wiser. Lalen Mendi's a Lalen Mendi. It's always been a Lalen Mendi. But when I had a look in the hydrographic report, there's no positive identification on it. So I thought, well, let's go out and find out one way or the other. So last week we had on board Vince and Jim, and we got some measurements. They took prop measurements. You did the length. Then we went down and did another dive and got the boilers.
Yeah.
Had a little look around and tried to work out what was going on.
That all seemed to tally up with the information you gained for the Duke of York, wasn't it? But didn't match the Lalen Mendi at all.
No, nothing matched the Lalen Mendi, but it all matched up to the Duke of York.
It did, yes.
But at the time, I couldn't remember where this information had come from. But by Wednesday, it suddenly clicked.
What did?
Where that information had come from.
I think we should cut now.
But we're going out to the site, and we'll tell you a bit more when we get there. And we're going to you can have a look at what we did last week while we're motoring out, and we'll see you soon. We've landed on the stern of the ship. This is the rudder that's laying completely flat on the seabed, right next to the prop. I can find very little information on the sinking of the Lalen Mendi, probably because it's wartime 1917, so they weren't writing too much about their losses at that time. Neil Moore in his book World War I Channel Wrecks puts it down to the fact also that the captain, this was a Spanish ship, the Lalen Mendi, and the captain was Spanish and he could speak very little English. But they did work out that it sank within 4 minutes of being hit. And the position that he gives it, Neil Moore in his book, is 4 miles south of Beachy Head, which is the same position as what Kendall MacDonald's got it in Dive Sussex. And also another guy, Leo Zanelli, in his book Shipwrecks Around Britain. So, I don't know who's copied who, but we do know that Leo and Kendall have got a bit of they can be wrong from time to time. But the Shipwreck Index puts it closer to the James Groves, which is around 5 miles further over to the east. I did this video in over 2 dives, so it's a bit mixed up with the footage. So this, I think this is on the first dive. So Jamie had gone down and disappeared up to the bows and then swum back. So that's him going now with his line just measuring out. We'll drop down in a second, we'll see the line. And we're not far from the boilers now, which is just about to come into view. 2 big boilers there. One's laying down. That one's laying down, and the other one next to it is poking up in the air a bit more. The Duke of York, we know, collided with the SS Dale shortly before 8:45 p.m. because of the statement by our captain, Frederick John Lane, in the inquiry. He puts it that they were 2.5 miles southwest of the Royal Sovereign Lightship. I had a look through the archives, and on May the 6th, 1907, high water was at 6:20, so the tide was ebbing at that time of the collision. And there was also a light southeasterly wind. And the captain, in his statement in the inquiry, he confirms this as well, that the tide was actually ebbing when they collided. The captain's son was also on board. Oh, this is the steam helm just coming into view. Similar looking to the one that's on the SS Stanhope. When we cleaned that one up on the Stanhope, it said Irvine and Sons on it, but we had a look at that one and there was nothing on it, unfortunately. Yeah, the captain's son, Richard Lane, who was an apprentice on board, said that they struck at 8:45 and sank around about midnight. So, give and take, I don't know, maybe 6 hours for a tide from when they struck. The ship would probably not have drifted on the tide back east very far, if at all. His son Richard stated that the ship turned right over before it sank as well. Yeah, see if you can spot the porthole here. I'm amazed that this porthole's still sitting here. The amount of people that must have dived this wreck and not seen this. It's not a nice brassy thing, it's all steel around the outside. The second engineer, George Ernest Coxworth, he said that the voyage had started badly when the Duke of York collided with the steamer SS Gledhow. But the main collision with the Edale, though, when the Edale hit them was between Beachy Head and the Sovereign Lightship. So if he's got it between the lighthouse and the Sovereign, you know, and it was drifting for 3 hours on the tide, it's going to be a lot further over to the west than it is to the east. This is just us measuring the boilers. Still can't find where I found that information that said that this might be the SS Duke of York, but I'm sure no doubt someone's got the bell or a maker's plate or pottery confirming what it is one way or the other. But it's a struggle if people don't say what they've got, you know, it just gets lost. So if anyone's got any information proving it's a Lalen Mendi, I'd quite happy to be proved wrong. Or the Duke of York, or any of the ships out around Beachy Head. Chances are it's going to be someone's granddad's got it in their shed, diving it back in the 70s or something. If the engines are there, we swam right over them. But I didn't notice them. I've seen some pictures of the engines that are assigned to this wreck, but looking at the pictures, they seem quite large chunks, so I'm surprised we didn't see them. But there's a possibility those pictures have been put onto the wrong wreck. Again, I'm quite happy to be proved wrong. Some more in bollards, we're more up towards the bow now. Bit more wreckage up towards the bows, a bit more spread out. I think it's a forward mast that's fallen over. Yeah, and this is the anchor. Once you spot the anchor, you know you're up towards the bow somewhere. One of the big winches. And this is right towards the end of the dive. This would have probably been a toilet. Well, this is a toilet, so there's probably a little room there that was a toilet. Not a nice ornate brassy thing or anything, it's just a big lump of steel. But you wouldn't want to be sitting on that. Not with him in there. So, on site now. What was we, 11 miles out. Distance to the bottom, depth is 30 metres, did we say? 30 metres. I've got a load of information on the Lalen Mendi. Originally it was the SS Dacia. I've got quite a bit of info about all the engines and the lengths and different specifications of the engine, of the ship itself. But I can't find anything for the Duke of York, but everything for the Lalen Mendi, nothing matches. But the real killer is the length, because it was 88 for the Lalen Mendi and 97 for the Duke of York.
Yes.
And when you measured it,
yeah,
it came out
at 97 from the bells to the prop.
Yeah.
And
105, I think we said.
105, yeah, to the helm right at the stern.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely not the Lalen Mendi, is it? So I thought, well, it's got to be that. And then, anyway, after making the video and editing it all, it was really bugging me. I thought, where did I get this bit of information from? Why have I written it down?
Can we talk about something else?
No, and it was you. It was you. You'd sent me an email, and I was thinking, I've seen it somewhere recently. Anyway, recently turned out to be 6 years ago. I found it on an old email that you forwarded on to me through somebody we did ask if we could mention, but
yeah, he got the information from someone else.
Yeah.
Just someone I'd met we got talking and chatting away, because he dives over on the Eastbourne Basin Way, which we're sort of meeting halfway, aren't we, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So some of our wrecks are overlapping that we dive. Yeah, interesting chap, knows loads of stuff, and so kept in contact, because at that time I was applying for a licence to dive the Holland 5, so I was keeping in the loop, because he was sort of interested in doing it as well. Yeah, and so passed over quite a bit of information.
Yeah.
Which I squirreled away nicely.
Completely forgot about. But luckily, when you forwarded it on, I thought, oh, that's interesting. So I wrote it down, because I said earlier, I'll just write it down in the margins in Dive Sussex in the book there. So why have I written that? So yeah.
Well, it goes to show what we're doing works well, because it all matches up nicely.
Well, that measuring, I was quite impressed with that. That come out. That's good. Yeah, like you say, something's going
big
right.
Thumbs up for us.
Yeah.
Even though we had the information to start with.
Yeah, I just forgot it. What else do we know that we've forgotten?
I don't know.
I can't remember. But the guys, we did ask if we could give him a mention, but he's a bit cagey. But he said he was given the information by another chap who was diving. He was diving out of Newhaven, wasn't he? Back in the days before Sovereign Harbour, where they dive out of now, has even been built. So he was coming across this way, wasn't he?
He was, yeah.
But he's somebody else. I mean, can't go mention him without talking to these people. But I've no reason to doubt
No,
what they've done at all. I think they're 100% right. I mean, they were diving these things back in the days when they were going down, picking up bells, picking up makers' plates, and picking up pottery with shipping lines on it. You know, they've had it all, haven't they? So yeah, but
so we probably go over some old ground that's diving wrecks trying to name and already named.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably sitting there watching this sort of stuff, having quite a laugh at us, and trying to do it. Oh, that ain't that. What are you talking about? But anyway, yeah, it's good. So the Lalen Mendi,
yes,
is the SS Duke of York. Yeah, another partial success. Named a wreck, sort of, that we already knew and forgot. That somebody else had
someone named many years ago, but didn't tell anyone.
Yeah, oh well, there you go. So we're going to go down now and hopefully find the engines, because I've seen some pictures assigned to this wreck with the engines, but we didn't see them last time, but it was a bit busy, weren't we? So we're going to go down and have another look. If we see them, we'll film them, and if they're not, they're not. They weren't there. They weren't there.
There we have Robert getting ready. Lovely out here today. Tied in on the bows for on the boiler for you, Robert, so make it nice and easy. I hope you have better luck finding the engines than I did. I didn't have a lot of time to look for them because I had a little job to do, but all I could find was fish. Just running up on the wreck now. Sit on a sonar if you can see that. Beautiful day out here.
Well, I'm down between this stern and the boilers where I expect to find an engine, and this big chunk that's been pushed right over on its side, to my mind that looks like a big old flywheel on the end of an engine, but I'm no expert. There's a bit of pipe work in there. I don't know, that kind of looks like an engine to me, but I'm not 100% sure. But it wasn't what I was expecting to see, the engines. And as that's all there is, I didn't hang around there too long. Visibility was really good again, so I went swimming up to the bow and had a look around there again. Yeah, back over where that toilet is, looking at it from the other side. Oh, what I did want to do also is go over and have a look up under that mast that's fallen down. If there's any lanterns or bells, that's where they're going to be. But not anymore, because I think somebody's had them all away. There's nothing on that side. Flip round again and was just swimming up the other side. I'm not sure what that was. Looks like it holds something or other. Just flown back over the toilet again. This is the forward winches. Yeah, and this is the best bit of the wreck for me. I think this is amazing up here in good visibility, where it's gone right over onto its side. All that bell's all fallen open, and it's a really great swim through. Up in the bows there's where all the chains would be. There's quite a bit of chain sort of laying around. Yeah, video doesn't do it justice at all, but when you're in there with that light coming through, yeah, it's pretty good. There's a ladder there. You can see that as we're swimming in through the what would be the bottom of the ship, and as you swim up, you'll see a ladder there that would have gone up to the top deck. Yeah, those cross beams and that is what the deck would have sat on, so that's where you'd be walking around, and it's a ladder that you'd be climbing up and down on. This chap is George Ernest Coxworth, who was a second engineer on the Duke of York. When he got home, he gave an account of the sinking to the local newspaper. He said they left on the Saturday night in question, bound for Alexandria with a cargo of coal. The voyage started with disaster. On leaving the dock, the Duke of York collided with the steamship Gledhow. The Duke of York sustained very little damage and proceeded to sea, and it was between 8 and 9 on Monday night when a second collision occurred. The Duke of York was between the Royal Sovereign Lighthouse and Beachy Head when the steamship Edel and the ill-fated ship collided. The Duke of York was struck on the port side, and a big gap was made into which the water rushed, flooding the engine room. The captain ordered the crew on deck. Some of them were off watch and were in their berths at the time, and they were given no time to dress themselves. A boat which was got out was smashed, and then an order was given to lower the starboard lifeboat, which was done very quickly, and the crew pulled off. By this time the Duke of York's decks were awash, and she foundered shortly afterwards. Fortunately the sea was smooth and the crew had no difficulty in getting onto the steamship Edel. They however lost all their effects, and some of them were only half clad. Another report says that the colliding vessels were of much the same size, the Duke of York being 3,026 tonnes and the Edel 3,110 tonnes. The first named vessel was bound from Hull to Alexandria with a full cargo of coal, whilst the Edel was bound from South America to Rotterdam with grain. The collision, which is almost inexplicable, took place in the vicinity of the Royal Sovereign Lightship about 9 o'clock on Monday night. The shipwrecked men state that the night was clear and comparatively fine, the lights of the vessels being seen for some considerable distance. In some unaccountable manner the vessels appear to have been held on converging courses, and when the danger was at length seen, a collision was unavoidable. The Edel stuck the Whitby steamer with great force on the port side, her bows penetrating well into the engine room and stockhold. You see a hatchway there that you'd use to go up and down within the ship, and that pipe there is the hawser pipe for the anchor. And that's one end of the anchor which is attached to all the chain, that big shackle on it. And there's the actual anchor still in the hawser pipe and hanging on the side of the ship. When I'm up high on the wreck, the tide's just starting to run and I'm about to be swept away, so I'll have to leave it there. All the information that I found out about the Duke of York I shall link to my blog within the description. See you on the next one. Thanks for watching.